recipe that I'm going to make today is a key lime pie smoothie. Obviously it's gluten-free and it's dairy-free because everything I eat and make is gluten-free and dairy-free. But there's some really delicious modifications in here that make it really, really nutritious. It tastes like a treat. It is a great kind of dessert smoothie, but I actually have it sometimes as just like a boosting meal because it has a lot of really good fats in it. It has good proteins. It's actually vegan as well for people out there who are vegan or vegetarian. So let's just get started. So the base of this, the protein of this shake is walnuts. I guess you really could use any other nuts if you prefer. I've only ever made it with walnuts. I imagine that if you made it with cashews, it would be really delicious and creamy as well. I'm slightly sensitive to cashews, so I haven't done that. And I just like the taste of walnuts better than almonds. So I have sprouted walnuts in here, and it's best if you soak them overnight because it helps make it easier to digest. It activates the enzymes in the walnuts, and it just makes it better and creamier for the smoothie. So I'm going to take a cup of walnuts, throw it in my Vitamix, and I haven't made this recipe in a long time, so I'm going to actually just make it with the quantities that I have so far and then kind of do a little taste test. So that's why I said it was a little bit of recipe testing here. So with that, I put the cup of walnuts in there. Then I take the juice of 3 limes. So I have 3 limes here. I've already juiced some of them. This is where the modifications might change a little after you taste it. But I juiced the 3 because the limes sometimes are drier or juicier or bigger or smaller. So this will just add the kind of the tart, zingy, acidic part. So we put the juice of 3 limes in there. Then I put 3 dates in there. And these dates that I got from the bulk bin actually have pits in them. So you want to make sure that you take the pit out of the date. These are the really delicious kind of gooey, soft dates. There's kind of different varieties. So I'm going to put those 3 in there. And this adds just a little bit of sweetness. I've seen this recipe made like similarly at some healing retreat centers too, and sometimes they would put maple syrup in it. I try to, not put that in initially, but if you don't have dates, you can use honey or maple syrup or maybe even another type of like sweet fruit that is just like a little bit extra ripe. You could really even throw a really ripe banana in there, but this way we're not putting like sugar in there, any sort of refined sugar, but the dates add a really nice kind of caramely flavor as well. Then I'm going to start with half an avocado. So this is going to be a lot of our good fats and nutrients. So I'm just going to scoop out that half and throw it in the Vitamix. And if you guys have questions or any comments or you have news or stories to share since it's been so long, just type them in the comments and I will try to read them from far away here. So that's half the avocado. And then I have a cup of ice that I'm going to throw in there to make it kind of like slushier smoothie. Throw that in. And then, rinse my then I'm going to do some more good fats here. We're going to do a tablespoon, a really big, delicious tablespoon of coconut oil. Throw that in. I kind of always have a little trick where I put the coconut oil, usually because it's more solid, I put it right in the middle of everything that I have in my blender or Vitamix because sometimes if you plop it in and it sticks to the sides and you start to blend stuff, it doesn't come off the sides very easily when the smoothie is cold. So I always try to make sure that it's like not touching the walls when I put my coconut oil in. And then, let's put this aside. I add some water, and again, this is kind of where you can vary the recipe depending on how like watery or thick you want this. And I'm using my Berkey, I think it's the Berkey Go or the Travel. No, it's not the Travel. This is the Berkey Go. It's a really amazing unit. It's 1 liter, I think, and it has 1 Berkey filter up top, and it separates, and then it does, I think, 1 liter of water down here. So I'm going to put about 2 cups of water into my measuring cup from my Berkey and add that to my blender. I'll do about half of that until I see the consistency and texture. I'm going to do a dash of salt, just to give it a little balance there, and left my Vitamix cap. Okay, so I'm going to blend this up and then do a little taste test to see if this is kind of the balance that I like. So give me just a couple seconds here with loud Vitamix noise. We're going to do it on the high power. So I'm already looking at it, and it's kind of got like a melty ice cream flavor, and I know I definitely want it more watery. So I'm going to add a little bit more water into this. And mix that up again. But as you can see, it's pretty creamy looking now. I'll give you a little peek into it. It blended all the walnuts up, and we have the creamy avocado, so it's got a really nice kind of creamy texture without having any milk in it. That's actually perfect balance for me. It's a little on the tart side. It's not too sweet at all. I think it's actually a perfect mix, but if you use this recipe proportions that I use, and you find that it's a little too tart or sour for you, you can add a little bit more of the date. You can actually even add the other half of the avocado to give it a little bit more of that creamy fattiness without the kind of the bite of the lime. But this is a perfect texture for me. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my cup. And you can see here, it's got like a really nice thick smoothie texture. And again, this is all just blended up nuts and good fats with a little bit of lime in there. It has this really satisfying key lime pie flavor, which I love key lime pie, and I just haven't had like traditional key lime pie in years because of the gluten and the dairy in it. It could be a really great fast breakfast too. And I love to think about the recipes here too, because my background is Persian. My parents immigrated, and in Persian culture, especially for women's health, one of the things that they recommend that women eat every morning is a date stuffed with a walnut. So I kind of love that this recipe is based on dates and walnuts mixed together, and then having a little tart kick of the lime in there. So if you guys try this recipe or you make any modifications to it, please leave the comments in the post here so that I know other delicious ways you can make it. Again, if you don't like walnuts or you're sensitive to them, you can try other types of nuts or even seeds. And I would recommend whatever you use, soak it overnight so that you can make it easier to digest and activate the enzymes in it. And if you liked this recipe, let me know, or if you want to see more, I am happy to share. It was great seeing you guys. Have a great day.